Korea is always changing, a lot of people like to say it's dynamic, ever changing, and that's true. Especially Seoulites, people in Seoul always try to catch the next new thing, the next new trend, and they want to be part of it. And I think that's one of the elements that really define the city. People are always keen to find what the next new thing is and to be part of it. I'm Cynthia Yoo. Korean name is Yoo So-young, and I teach at Kyung University. I'm a professor there at Humanities College, but I also do freelance media work, and one of them is for Seoul magazine. Well, I've been writing about food and meeting chefs and sommeliers and various folks in the dining, food and beverage industry for a few years now. We write about various great restaurants, bars, cafes. Cafes are actually a big topic. And we try to share what's interesting in the food and beverage in the dining scene here in Seoul to folks visiting Seoul or who've been living here for a while and still may not know about all the little secret gems and hideaways in the city. I think a lot of my media career here in Korea has been about bridges, kind of the bridges that you can build with social cultural bridges that you can build with the Korean community, the local Koreans, and also with the expat community and maybe the foreign tourists visiting Korea. And I think that's really the essence of Seoul magazine as well. It's a cultural and social bridge between the English-speaking communities and the local Korean residents as well, and how they can actually both learn from each other and about each other. I think that's what makes Seoul magazine really special. Seoul magazine have really tried to bring about this sense of community, right? And I think it's really succeeded. So I'm glad to be part of that too. There's been a lot of development in the Korean dining scene. In the last decade or so, a lot of Korean young chefs have gone overseas to study at some of the best cooking culinary schools and work. And they've brought back really great ideas on how to innovate the Korean restaurant scene and food and beverage industry as well. But it's also the demand or the market side, because a lot of Koreans have also gone abroad to study, to live, and even, kyopo like me, they've, transplanted back into Korea. So they've also sort of raised the bar in terms of what you can expect at a Korean restaurant. Just like even Korean food these days have been opened by chefs like Park Chan-il, who've studied abroad and opened actually very good Italian restaurants before starting his own 국밥집. I think that's part of the evolution, the process that's been influencing the Korean dining scene here as well. I think it's also important to discover your own neighborhood. If you do your search, there's actually quite a lot of great places. Go out and discover your own neighborhood gems, because they're out there. And Korea is such huge. I'm always amazed by how many people live here. I'm really taken aback by just the rows and rows of apartment buildings. And sometimes you wonder to yourself, just how many people live there and where do they go and spend their time? I love stories. I've always loved stories growing up. Storytelling about food, I think that's what intrigues people to it. My food is very basic, but there's also content there and there are stories in the food as well. And now I've become a storyteller myself. And I think that's something that I would like to continue to do, but for Seoul magazine and maybe other pursuits as well.